to growing up back in Boston. During the Second World War, we had this magnificent basilica, and it was dedicated to Our Lady of Perpetual Health. And every Wednesday afternoon during the Second World War, my mother would take my brother and I, and we would go from our home and get on the trolley car and go up to the Basilica of Our Lady of Perpetual Health to celebrate the Novena of Our Lady of Perpetual Health. And because it was in the wartime, and because so many of our relatives and our friends, including my father and my uncle, were off fighting the war in Europe, many people would come to church. Church would be filled with everybody. We were always praying to Our Lady of Perpetual Health that our men and women would come home and that the war would end very soon. And so I know very much about the Novena of Our Lady of Perpetual Health. It was something that we did for at least 3 years, every Wednesday. And so we have a great devotion to Our Lady of Perpetual Health. And that reading that gospel reading, tells us a lot about who our Blessed Lady is. When Jesus says that the greatest among you must be the servant of one another. And here we have our Blessed Lady who was given the greatest honor that any human being could be given. The honor of being the Mother of God. But she was also the servant of Jesus. She would do what Jesus would tell her. Remember the great feast of Cana? The great wedding feast. And here our Blessed Lady is there with Jesus celebrating, and they run out of wine. That's terrible to run out of wine. And so she just looked at Jesus and said, do what he tells you. Jesus said, well, my time hasn't come. But Jesus was the servant of our Blessed Lady, and she was the servant of Jesus. She raised Jesus, even though she had this great honor. And maybe that's the lesson you and I should learn from our Blessed Lady of Perpetual Health. That we should be the servant to one another. That even though we have this great, wonderful experience of being loved by God, of being a child of God and an heir to the kingdom, we also must be servants to one another. To be in the way in which our Blessed Lady, even though she had the great honor of being the Mother of God, was the servant to Jesus. To any prayers of the faithful? To any prayers of the faithful?